Hi guys, welcome to my channel, and today we are gonna do like a tutorial on how to make a game known as Flappy Bird. Right, okay, so let me just run the game to show you guys how does it look, how I play it, and accordingly you guys can check the tutorial on it. All right. Okay, so let me compile it first. My file name is trial.java. Alright, compiling is done. Now let me run it. And my class name is also trial. This is how my interface looks like. So let's check out what I've done here. Basically, I have the Flappy Bird here, almost at the center of the screen. And there's a ground here. And there's a label here. And there's another label here to check the score. So let me play this game. So I have to press the up key to start this game. So let me click the up key, and I have to continuously kind of click it. And as you can see, the bird is not there anymore, and game over. This is another label, and I have presented the score here also and here also. So it's either way. And there's a restart button. So, and these are the pillars, and there's a cloud here. So when I click restart, then what happens, it just comes back to its original page again. So let me just I think this is gonna take quite a long time to explain. Even if I explain it in like short, it will take time. So I have divided the video in two parts, and this is the first part. So if you guys are more interested, then you can check and continue to check the next part as well. So without wasting any more time, let me start with the first part. Alright, so I have the program codes here. These are the libraries that I've imported, and it goes all the way down till I think around 300 lines, because in between there are many spaces and all. So if I exclude all that, then I think it will come around 300. So let me start with the main thing here. As you can see, I have extended application here. So application is going to help me make this application, so please don't forget to extend it from there. And these are the libraries. I would suggest you guys to write it in NetBeans first, maybe to check out the libraries to be imported. So I have used NetBeans for this, so I don't have to have the headache like in which part of the program code belongs to which library. So let's get started. So these are the initializations. I don't think that is important right now. What I think is that I'll go to this part of the code directly. Now when I actually run this code, the first thing and the first place where it's gonna go, it's on the main function. So I'll go to the main function and tell you guys what is happening. Right, in the main function, as you know, if you guys know Java or javafx like little bit, then you guys know that this main function, so it has to be called and it has to be written, or else it's going to produce an error. So what I have done here is that inside I have written only one line of code, and that is launch arguments. So launch, it basically launches the whole application. So and arguments, we didn't provide any input arguments, so we don't have to worry about that. But this is the main syntax to write it. Whatever arguments you take in here by any chance, and even if you enter arguments here, you can enter arguments here itself as well. So this is gonna launch the whole application. Now when one more thing that launch does is that when the launch function is called, it's gonna go next to the start function. This is the start function, and its input is the stage window. So if you guys are wondering what is stage, stage is basically the part of the application which doesn't consist of this title bar. So if you guys know about it, then it's well and good, but this is the part which stage consists of. So whatever you add to the stage, the output will be shown here. Alright, so that is stage, and I have given the name stage as window. Alright, so this is by default entered in the start function, and at this window is the application window. Alright, and in the beginning it's just blank, nothing is there. So I don't like to manipulate the original window. I would like to save it in the primary stage. Now this copying it into another stage is quite useful, because in that way you get to change the window, like having one application, you get to change 2 or 3 different windows. So for example, I have one Flappy Bird here. The next moment if I click a button, it may redirect to another window having the same application, in the same application. So that's why it's a better practice to copy it in another variable. Alright, I'm gonna tell you guys how important this resizable is. Like, if you make it like true, it's not gonna stay in here. It's gonna just, okay, just let me show you guys how does it look. Let me write it, and let me run this application again. Oh, why did I? Alright, so when I do a restart, then what happens, there is this button now. This button is clickable now, and when I click it, this is what happens. So it's a mess. It shouldn't be done like this. So you guys can change this and make it resizable by using bind operation, but I don't want to make it complicated, so I left it here itself. So that shouldn't be true. Alright, it should be false and it should be saved. So when I run again, when I compile it and run, and then you guys can see that this is not clickable. Alright, so next let's go down and let's check one by one what is there. Here is one more important thing. This is a group. Alright, this root is a group. Now what this root does is that whatever I want to add in this window, I'm gonna add it to the root so that I can display it on the scene, and that scene is gonna be on the stage. Alright, so that I'll come later how the printing part is done. So for time being, just we have to remember that this basically means that we are adding it to a group, and that group can represent it later to represent this whole stage. What things should be included in this stage at that particular time. All right. So and these are just shadows. I just put this to make it look a little 3D. For example, I've put a little bit of shadow here, so it makes it look a little 3D. If you guys want, you can put it on the labels and on the ground. I don't know, wherever you guys want, you guys can put that. and this is for the image. Alright, so I'll tell you guys one more problem that I had while making this application. uh, the thing is that when I tried to make an image as an object, that didn't exactly work out for me because I couldn't use the mouse events or the key events to make it jump. So I had to turn it into an object which can be used when I um, press the up key or when I have a mouse click. So those motions, those events could be detected using an object like a rectangle or a circle or a square or ellipse. So I have used ellipse here. If you can, if I can find it. Wait, I thought I wrote it here. Alright, here is the ellipse. So I've made the bird object as an ellipse. So this bird, it will be blank in the beginning, and if you fill it any color, it will be that color in the beginning. So I don't want that. I want the picture of the flappy bird to appear here. So what I did was I just downloaded an image of a flappy bird and I saved it in this form. And then after that, after saving that, what I did was I converted it into a pattern because on that ellipse I can't directly paste an image. I have to convert that image into a pattern and then I can paste it on the ellipse. So that is what I did. This is basically that. Alright, and after that, for the clouds, yeah, clouds kind of play an important role. If you see, it's just making it look more real. So yeah, I would love the clouds to be there. That's why I made that. So the main thing about clouds is that I just made a random number of y-axis that would enter into the screen onto the screen, and when it enters it should have that particular position and it should just pass out the screen with that position. So the x will be constant once it enters the screen, but the y-axis, it just decreases. Alright, so I just have to know the height of the window, and then I'll just decrease that not height of the window, width of the window, and I just have to decrease it, assign that to an x-axis of the cloud, and I just have to decrease that and it would just pass through the screen. That is how easy the cloud making is, or moving of the cloud is. So that is what I've done here. Basically I've just taken a picture of a cloud and I've downloaded that, and you just need to do all the operations, but that was main basic concept. Next, for the bird, yeah, I just explained how I put an image of a flappy bird on the ellipse. Now the thing is that you can't place the flappy bird just anywhere. Alright, it has to be somewhere in a fixed position in the beginning of the screen. So when it is in a fixed position at the beginning of the screen, then you exactly know where it is and you can move it according to your choice, and it should be in such a position that it doesn't hit the ground fast and it just doesn't go off the off the border of the sky. Alright, so it should be somewhere at the center. So you guys have to give a limit to the ground and the sky, so it should not hit the sky and it should not hit the ground. So if it hits the ground, it's just gonna pass by, and like your score will be over at that time. The game is over at that time. Alright, okay, so that's the basic concept. And after that, and one more thing, in order to put a gradient, for example, if you can see this these pillars have a gradient. They go from gray to black, so that makes it look quite 3D. Alright, So that is why I used a gradient. Now it's your choice if you don't use a gradient. In the beginning I would suggest not to use a gradient. Finish the work and then you can edit in later. So I have made an array list of columns. Now columns, I have to make an array list because look at the amount of columns I have used. So these are all just rectangles, and these I just named them columns. So they are all like all a part of array. So it's just an array of columns, which are rectangles of different sizes. Alright, so that is the basic definition here. And after that I just made a ground. As you can see, it's green and I filled it with dark green. And width and height according to this, you guys can adjust this. Like for example, what I've done here is that I have taken xy coordinate, x to be 0 and y to be a little bit less than the full y-axis, the full height, sorry, the full height, which is this height of the window minus 120. So I just want to make the total height to be 120 here. Alright, so the height is 120 and the width is throughout the window. Alright, and again the height is 120. So as you can see here, this is just x-axis, y-axis. X-axis is 0 because it's starting at the beginning of the screen, so it's just all the way down is 0. But if you check the y-axis, it just increases as you go down. So if I just deduct 120, you know, minus the height minus 120, so you can get this. This will be the position of the starting of the rectangle, and then I've mentioned the width and then the height. Alright, I think you guys understood. So let's go next. Next is the timeline. Timeline is quite important because you are gonna make a kind of a movie. So you need to make the bird move and all that. So it's just like recorded all in a timeline. So I've made the timeline to be indefinite. And one more thing about timeline is that I've put here because I need to use the keyframes. The keyframes make things visible. You know, keyframes mark each part of the bird's position, the pillar's position, and everything, and present it to you. That is why keyframes is required. Next, there's just an initialization. In the beginning, game over is false. We have to set that to be false, or else I have given few conditions which it won't satisfy. So that's why you have to give it false, because it's not the end of the game. It's just the beginning. Alright. Next, for the button, I have used a position. I've just initialized it. I've not added it in the group, so it's not gonna appear here. The rest part of the program I'm gonna teach you guys in the next part. So please tune in and check the next part if you guys are really interested. So for now, thank you guys. If you guys really like this video, give it a thumbs up, and please do subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. But yeah, if you guys have any suggestions for any other video, please suggest down in the comments below, and thank you.